Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. We are here for the season finale of Our Kind of People. We are in the flagship season, and unfortunately for now, it looks like it is going to be Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end for Our Kind of People, as Fox has decided not to renew for a second season. So unless someone else picks it up, season 1 is all that we have. Now, having said all that, let me say this. Season 1 gave all that needed to be given. It did. And I will say that episode 12, the final episode for season 1, was not bad. It was pretty good. I actually had a subscriber drop down in the comments of last week's episode and ask me about Olivia and her relation, why her husband kind of cut her off from business dealings, and what was the story behind that. And of course, you know, I'm Johnny on the spot. I was like, this is why. I had no idea why she was asking that, because I had not seen the episode yet. And so, yeah. So let's get into this episode, because it is a lot. A lot. And you know how Lee Daniels does. He I mean, it is like full steam ahead. This episode is called Kiss It Up to God. And that is, if you are familiar and you're old enough, back in the day when something fell on the floor of you know, a piece of food or something, and you got it up real fast and you kiss it up to God, it was supposed to be okay to eat, right? Also, if you had a boo-boo and you fell and you got hurt, your mama would rub it, make it feel better, and kiss it up to God, right? You don't, and it's like, okay, the child would scurry off, like it's all better now, like it's a miracle, it's miraculous. So that's where the term kiss it up to God goes. And it is also a play on a conversation that Raymond was having with Leah about everything that had happened to her, everything that she was going through. It's another way of saying, just pray about it, give it to God to handle. And he was telling her everything that she's going through, just kiss it up to God. You know what I mean? So we're going to hear this phrasing a couple of times in this episode, just prefacing with that, right? Okay, so let's see. We see where Angela has come out with another arm to her business, Eve's Crown, by putting together a formulated hair care line called Nikki's Halo, and it is dedicated to her daughter Nikki, who she feels like has grown so much over the summer, has just excelled. We know that when Nikki came there, she was coming off the heels of having been in juvenile because of fighting and you know, drugs, you know, marijuana, drinking, and just all of these things. She was like going through it, like a lot of angst. And so coming there was an opportunity for her to sort of shed all of those things. And she had done this really, really superior job getting that done. And she had also fallen in love with who turns out to be, Taylor was her first love, or is her first love. And so Angela just wants to celebrate her. But Aunt Piggy also reminds Angela that she accomplished a lot too this summer. She came there to, one, to start her business and continue on her mom's legacy, but also to figure out what happened to her mom. And because they have that gun with Teddy's prints on it, they think she is closer now than she has ever been to resolving what happened to her mama. Now, Okay, so this is how the episode opens. Now, Aunt Piggy also reminds Angela that although she has agreed that she is going to leave Oak Bluffs and take Teddy's funding, to do so, she needs to be careful snooping into Teddy, because she doesn't want Teddy to find out that she is still snooping, and that be even more detrimental to the money he gonna try to give her and to her own very life. But Angela's like, oh no, I'm gonna find out what happened to my mama. Then we see where Leah is talking to Raymond. She's rereading her mom's letter, and he reiterates to her that even though she's brokenhearted and so many things are fractured and broken right now as it pertains to her family, that she can always kiss it up to God. It's a really, really good moment. And I'm just starting to really, really like Leah. You know what I mean? Like, really like Leah. I'm starting to, she just, even her countenance to me looks different than when we first started seeing Leah at the top of the season. She just had this real haughty, nose up in the air type of air about her now. Now she is so much more rooted and grounded and just like, just centered. Like, her voice is even different. The way she carries herself, enters a room, the conversation just seems more authentic and genuine. Like, I can see the actress who plays Leah, she made a transition between the old Leah and the new Leah, and I can see it. I can see that shift in her acting, that it's clearly a new Leah just in countenance alone, right? Energy. And so, shout out to her. I like the new Leah. Well, Raymond goes downstairs to breakfast, boo. And he goes in and he's talking to Teddy. Now, Teddy about to make his move, okay? Not only did he had an investigator go down there and talk to the people down at the pool house and found out somebody saw a man looking like Jack that talked to a woman that looked like Leah and give her the key to his villa. And then somebody, those people over there, nondescript, saw a man that looked like Raymond going to a guy that looked like Jack's room, or door that looks like Jack's door. I was like, is this our proof? Because I'm not convinced. Okay. So, yeah, just before the police were called, sir, I'm the one that called the police. Okay. Did they give you a time frame? Okay, is it on camera? Like, what is we talking about here? Anywho. And so he tells him that he is making an announcement today. It's going to be, a press conference, so to speak. He's making a grand announcement. He's going to be talking about things that are going on with the stadium, which is named after his brother. But also, he is going to be letting them know that he's going to be in full ownership and control of Darman Foods. Okay, and all of its subsidiary holdings and shares and things of this nature. And Raymond is like, excuse me, because I do have the paperwork from Jack's dead body that says that I get his shares. And so Teddy was like, yeah, so since I know all of this information that can implement not only your wife, my daughter, but also you, I think you're going to let all this go, sir, and give me your shares and give me your company, and you're going to buzz off. Tyrique sitting there, he hear all this. He also hear Teddy say, Raymond tell Teddy, you know what, you a piece of work. You're running your daughter Angela off, you paying her off to leave. And Tyrique is like, you paying Angela to leave? What? Excuse me? Bad enough he was sitting there acting like he wasn't listening. I was like, you sitting between the two of them, so no matter how much you look like you not listening, everybody know you getting the tea, boo. And he does. He gets the tea. And he goes down to Angela's to talk to her about it. But first, we see Taylor, who, by the way, is trash. And so is Lauren. They are post-coitus. Okay. I was like, if Taylor was a dude, we just be allowing her to be around here hunching on our daughter? I was like, oh, baby, that's what rich people do. But, baby, that when I tell you that door would have been cocked loose open, especially if we not just friends, we go together. Oh, no, the doors would have been cocked loose. Yeah, you better not close no door in this house. Not in my mama's house. But apparently they able to have whole sex get-togethers, child. See, they ain't just friends. They go together. So, yeah, that's the reason why. But I digress. So, they, like I said, they are post-coitus. And they both, you know, try to act like they're so empathetic about what Nikki is going through and how bad they feel. And so, I'm just so confused, you know, because when we first see Taylor and Leah, Lauren, this episode, they on the beach with Nikki. They at the beach with Nikki. And Nikki is none the wiser about the fact that they're sleeping together. Oh, it's one thing for you to take Nikki to the beach, but why is Lauren there? Like, it's just such trash. Anyway, Nikki does, you know, she's just so innocent in the whole situation. Finally, Taylor tells her not only does she not love her, but she's breaking up with her. And Nikki lets her have it. She basically just says, you know, I should have known, yada, yada, yada. You threw yourself overboard and lied on your girlfriend to do it. You know, you trash. Anyway, I was like, that's right. She is trash. Oh, the whole thing is just messy. So we also see where Leah tries to kind of set things right a little bit and reinstate Angela into the Graceties, which Olivia's like, hold that thought. I don't think so. It's not gonna happen. And maybe, Leah, you need to step down as the president of this chapter, because you don't have the fortitude and wherewithal to step all over people's hearts and feelings and emotion. You got too much empathy. You get what I'm saying? Like, here we cut holes low. You know what I'm saying? And we don't think nothing about it. If you don't have the moral if you got too much morality to shank people in the back, stab them in the back, and cut them low, then maybe you shouldn't be president. We need somebody here with razor sharp teeth that'll rip a hole apart, not love them back to life. Leah, what are you thinking? This Olivia now. And you know, she keeps bringing up Rose's name, and Leah's like, say my mama name one more time. Say my mama name one more time, okay? Let my mama name come out your mouth. Let me hear you say ruh. Let me just hear you say ruh oh, and I'm gonna jump down your throat, okay? And pressure wash your tonsils. And Angela's like, gather yourself, Leah. Gather yourself. You know what I'm saying? What we gonna do is we gonna throw this ball, and we gonna make her eat her words. And I'm gonna help you do that, sis. Okay? This calm it down. Don't bring it, keep it right here. Don't let her see you sweat. So Leah does a spin, baby, and tells Olivia, this gonna be the best ball ever. Okay? And I'm not stepping down as president of this chapter. And anybody who thinks otherwise got another thing coming. Bloop, bloop. Walks off. No, she saunters off. I was like, you better do it, Leah. You best to do it. Leah also pleads with Teddy to let Angela stay. I mean, with Mama gone, and you said whatever Angela could dig up would hurt Mama, but Mama gone now, so Leah should be able to stay. He was like, I said no, and I mean no. Leah's got to go, right? I still say whatever's going on not only affects Teddy, but affects Leah. I don't believe that Leah is Teddy's daughter. I believe Leah is Lewis's daughter. I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think. It just don't feel right to me. Like, whatever he trying to keep her from finding out, to me seemed like it was way bigger than just he may or may not have killed somebody. I think it has to do with who was killed. That's all I'm saying. Now, we may never know. We may never ever know, because this is the last season. Unless somebody else pick it up, please, 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 on. We may never know. But I digress. Okay, so they go on and he do his announcements. It's gonna be a hot dog called a Darman dog, child, made out of beef. That's your announcement. That's why you calling all these people here together with all these flash bulbs and things to tell them about a hot dog, but also to tell them, I forget something else about the stadium and how lush and nice the stadium was gonna be. Blah blah blah. I was shy like, Teddy, sit down somewhere. You always somewhere pontificating. Ish. So listen. Like I said, Tyrique goes over to see Angela, and after he learns out that she's leaving, and the daddy llama is there hovering, child, he gets on my nerves. I was like, why you ain't going to no job, sir? Why you ain't got no uniform on? Like, I can't stand somebody that live, just look like you around there living off that girl. You packing up the boxes like it's your stuff. What you packing up, sir? You been in jail for 15, 25 years. Come on. I can't stand somebody always standing around eyeballing, looking, you know what I'm saying? You ain't working and ain't contributing. If you don't get your knuckles out of here. Anywho. So we see where Piggy is there and Angela's there and they're talking, and she shows Tyrique the gun. And says, she thinks that this is the gun. Can you check it out and find out if this gun had, maybe your daddy bought this gun and Teddy used this gun? Or can you find out if this gun had anything to do with, what happened that night? And so Tyrique is got some context. He's going to check it out. And the daddy llama, Nate, gonna step in and say, whatever you do, I don't want you to end up hurting Angela or getting her more into Teddy's, making her more of Teddy's target. And Tyrique stands up and was like, I would never do anything to hurt Angela. I said, Lord have mercy, here we go. Nate done pulled out his peen and threw it on the table. And then Tyrique stood up and unzipped his pants and threw his on the table. It said, thud. Nate threw his on the table. It sounded like pocket change. Tyrique threw his on the table and it sounded like a whole big old stack of hundreds. It said, thud. But listen, Angela was too confused and tired and anxious and too busy trying to be about her business to take out a tape measure and measure either one of them, child. I said, oh, look at this penis measuring contest, child. Y'all need to sit down somewhere with all this carrying on and things, But yeah, so that was a really funny moment. So listen, we see, like I said, where Taylor breaks Nikki's heart, and Nikki, she reminds Taylor that she has been suspect AF for a long time. When she goes home, her mama and her daddy there, and she's like, I don't want to go to the ball because I don't want to see Taylor because she broke my heart. And in about 2 seconds, they tell her, girl, you'll find somebody else. Don't worry about it. This your first love. I promise you won't even remember her name 10 years from now. I promise you won't even be thinking about this chick, right? And she was like, you really think so? And they were like, trust me. Trust me, this right here, this too shall pass in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just like that, she was over it. You'll love again. We see where the daddy llama makes Angela an offer of marriage. He puts together a little dinner and makes her some spaghetti and gets her a little cheap bottle of wine that they used to drink when they was younger. And he pulled up a video from where, I don't know, but a video of when they was younger, child. She had Bantu knots, child. I remember Bantu knots. Y'all remember Bantu knots? So, Yeah, so he proposes just in time for Tyrique to walk in, and because he got news about Mama Eve, she is just like, give me a second, and sends the daddy llama Nate on into the house. And so he tells her what he finds out, that is the gun that she has the same bullet that goes to that gun goes to the bullet that they found in Lewis's head. Lewis was shot that night, and he was shot between the hours of this time and this time, right? And it belongs to that gun, Teddy's gun, the gun Teddy had, right? And she's like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And so we was all like, oh, it's a mess. And so then we see where um uh Taylor and Lauren, like I said, after they faking empathy over Nikki. I told y'all about all that. Well, at the same time, she had a tennis bracelet. She had bought Taylor a tennis bracelet. This is the part I didn't tell y'all. You know, they faking empathy for Nikki. She gonna give her a little promise bracelet, and when she goes in the box, it's empty. Well, she said, this ain't nobody but Sloan. She been right here stealing out of my room. And I said to myself, I don't know that Sloan is stealing. She probably setting Sloan to look like she's stealing, because we still really had no resolve to that whole Sloan is stealing from my room situation. You know, she is the head of housekeeping's granddaughter. Well, she done went and told the lady not only that Quincy and Sloan is sleeping together, having sex, you having your own sex capades up in this room, up in this house, and you trying to tell on Quincy the fact that Quincy and Sloan hunching. I don't get it. I don't get it. But other than the fact that you a nasty piece of work, Lauren, and she tells the head of housekeeping that a grandbaby is stealing out of her room. I don't understand why she's so hell bent on dragging Sloan down, other than the fact that you just want your brother all to yourself. So the lady done snuck in there and seen Quincy and Sloan making out doggone in the broom closet. And she tell her granddaughter, I know you've been sleeping with him. She tell Quincy it's disrespectful for you to be sleeping with my granddaughter. And she tell her granddaughter that she is snatching her up out of there and sending her on back home. And she can't come back around through there no more to work or to visit or otherwise, because she also knows she been stealing from Lauren's room. And Lauren is the one that told her all of this. And he tries to plead with her. No, I ain't here. Sloan tries to plead with her. No, I ain't here. She walk off, and Sloan tells him, which she had already said it in front of Quincy, but she tells him directly this time that she's trying to blow my spot up and say I'm stealing. And she having sex with Taylor behind Nikki's back. Child, I don't know why she do that. I don't know why she do that, because Quincy decided he was going to go and have a talk with Lauren. But we'll talk about that. So, that's a whole mess. We also get to see where Angela and Leah are working together on putting this ball together. Now remember, Angela knows about the gun, so she has decided she's going to put together pictures of that night in 1984, and of everybody, you know, the whole, she's going to do a pictorial timeline of the ball and see where Teddy was, because evidently the picture's supposed to show you every moment that somebody was at the ball. Don't worry about it, them scabs, just anyway. So they going through the pictures. Now Leah don't know why she doing this, but Teddy walks up and tells Angela, I know that I paid you off in sending you scurrying, and you still need to do that. But I just want you to know, listen, I thought your mom was great. Thought you're great, but you gotta go. See ya. And so she goes behind him when he walks out. Leah thinks she finna go behind him and mollywop him from the back. I was like, I thought she was too. I thought she was finna give him a boot to the back, baby. But she doesn't. She closes the door and she tells Leah there's a gun. There's a gun that's got Teddy's prints on it, and the bullet killed Lewis, and yada yada yada, and blah blah blah. Leah is like, oh, my head is spinning. Do you know if my daddy is this killer and this liar that you say that he is? That I know that he is because my mama's lipstick was on that pillow, and I believe he smothered her. That means I lose 2 parents in 1 week. Angela said, I get it. I get it, sis. I get it. You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet to see your daddy in the full scope of whom he is, huh? You're not ready to see the horns and the tail, huh? You don't see, okay, that your daddy is a fire-breathing dragon, and he lays waste and singes the eyebrows of anybody that dares come too near. That's fine. But until you do, I don't know how we can be sisters. And she gathers her things and goes. And calls Tyrique, child. She done called Tyrique, and she is there venting to Tyrique. And they walking on the beach, child. I don't know how he figured all this out, because when she called him, he probably was like, I'll meet you at the beach. I'll meet you at my private beach. That's right. Tyrique done bought him a whole piece of beach, child. And he was going to build a house on it, but it was just never the right time. But poof, as they walk on the beach, and she is just, venting, magically. Like alakazam, alakazoo, baby. He has a giant heart-shaped set of flowers and baby's breath everywhere. Oh, and then in the center, he's got some sandy rose petals in the shape of a heart. And he's got fire, shoosh, 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 set all over the beach. Baby, it is illumination. And he gets down on his knee and opens up a box, and that ring said, Hallelujah. I was like, Because when Nate pulled out his ring, I was like, where is it? Anybody got a magnifying glass? Does anybody have a microscope so that we can look at the Daddy Llama / Nate's ring? Anyone? But baby, when I tell you Tyrique's ring was sitting up like this. It was sitting on that. It was sitting on the bed like this, like, oh, look how gigantic I am. It was big. She's so giant. And it had a light shining. Hallelujah. It brought her to tears immediately, and I shedded one single solitary tear from my own eye. And she said, this is a lot. I just got to think. He said, I understand. I'll talk to you at the night at the ball, and then we're going to meet later, and you can give me your answer. She was like, okay. And he left her there in all that beautifulness. I was like, child. And he told her he was going to build her a house there. If she chose him to stay with him, he going to build her a house on that beach, baby. You going to have all the fabulosity you need, boo. I was like, yeah, okay. Better get the paperwork signed, though, girl. Don't let nobody move you in nowhere. You ain't got no ownership to nothing. I digress. So, yeah, that was a good moment. Listen, we get to see where the ball finally happens, and Nikki finds out after she apologizes to Taylor. They hear on the other end of the hallway where Lauren and Quincy, aka the Invisible Man, is bickering. All this time, he done spent this whole season being invisible. The one time where he need to be quiet, he is down there letting Lauren have it about, I know that you and Taylor have been cheating on Nikki behind her back. And Nikki is standing right there, and she's like, oh, Taylor, you know what? This family, you all are cruel and hateful people. Cruelty runs in your bloodline. I'm just ashamed that I'm a part of the bloodline. And she storms off. And Quincy is like, you know what? She's right. She is right. Cruelty and hatefulness runs through this family. And they run off. Well, we get to see Raymond. Raymond tells Leah, if you don't, what he's saying is true. And the reason why is because Teddy is the common denominator behind all of this. And Leah said, you know what? You're right. I'm going to take this whole family and kiss it up to God. Okay? And I'm going to let my father know you will no longer command and hold us as an audience to your foolery, to your duckery. Okay? I'm cutting him off. And I'm cutting the entire family off from him. She was like, this is it. This is finito. So they go on into the ball, and she makes an announcement about welcome to our annual ball, the end of the summer, Illuminati ball and everything, and we're going to have a good time. But first, we want to do a special presentation to my father, Teddy Franklin, who's over the years has participated in this ball. So they've got a beautiful black satin box and a beautiful black satin bow, and she and Angela present it to him, and they're holding the box, and he opens the box, and guess what's in it? That big A gun. Okay, that is a big A gun. Okay, and he sees it, and oh, he closes the box, and he runs off, and he's shaking. He runs off, and Leah says, this is an emotional night. Give us a moment, please. And they all, I'm talking about Piggy, Tyrique, Raymond, Leah, Lauren, Quincy the Invisible Man, Angela, Nikki, everybody but Rose and Eve, child, including Louis. Louis shows up there too, baby. Louis is there too with a bullet hole in the middle of his head and just a little bit of blood leaking out of the hole, right? He is there as well. And they all gather in the study, and Teddy's there, and he's pacing back and forth. Tell us what happened, Daddy. You are caught dead to rights. Stop lying to us about this. What happened that night? And he weaves a tale, baby. And it goes up and down and around and loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop like a gerbil wheel, only to come back to the fact that he was once again not at fault. It was, after all, Mama Rose that did it, right? He said that he had decided that he loved Eve and he was going to run off with her. And his brother was there to stop him from hurting Rose, and making a mess of things, right? And they were bickering back and forth, and he was telling his brother that he loved Eve, and it was a mistake marrying Rose, and he wanted to be with be with Eve, and he was leaving. He was running off with her. And it said Rose walked up behind him and heard the whole shebangle. She knew it was all going on, and she knew that he was leaving. Okay, and she pulled out that gun and she shot, and his brother leapt in front of him and took a bullet right in the center head. Not in the ear, not in the jaw, not in the shoulder, but dead center in his forehead. He caught that bullet. That was meant for him. And his Mama Rose was so shook, and she had never been right since. And that's what happened. Ta-da! And Leah was like, oh, hell no. Sir, I know you had shady business dealings back then. I know it was a lot of fool-la-la going on and duckery going on, sir. You was messing around with taking people's property and undervaluing it. That's how you got the property you got now, by scooting. And I know that Uncle Lewis wasn't with all of that. So you tell me what really went down. You tell me what really happened. Never mind. You know what? I know that it's more than what you're saying. I know this isn't the full scope of it. Because when he was talking, everybody was like, well, maybe that's what happened. And then she was like, you've been a mess ever since. You always been crooked. You always been low down. It's more to this story than what you're telling. And you know what? Tell you what. Gather your things, sir, and go. We don't want you here no more. Okay? You got to get out of here. This gun is proof that you've been up to some fool-la-la, and we're going to keep it as proof. And if you want us to keep it quiet, you're going to get up out of here. Oh, it was an epic moment. It was an epic moment. When I tell you it was old General Hospital, all my children, cliffhanger moment. It was a cliffhanger moment. It was good. Okay. everybody just fully confronting him. Where we get to see where Olivia is just dragging Leah. This is the way she's doing it. Nothing's on time. And we used to be dancing by 8 o'clock. And we took our Illuminati pictures at 10 p.m. And this, I just don't understand. We just need to get new leadership, yada, yada, yada. Angela walked up and said, you know what? Them old antiquated rules that y'all had, they don't apply anymore. You need to be forward thinking and think about how to do things in a more forward thinking fashion. And Olivia was like, ma'am, you know what? I don't have to do anything. And she said, I know you wasn't in that 1984 10 o'clock picture, Illuminati picture. And Olivia's like, it's a lady that she was talking to, Ruby. She said, Ruby, can you freshen my drink, please? And Ruby was like, okay, I want to hear the rest of this tea, but y'all, okay, I'll get you a drink. And Ruby walked off so slow, like, I'm going. And she tell her, she said, I know you the one that planted them drugs on my mama, because you wasn't in that picture, okay? And my mama, the time frame when my mama got arrested was in between that 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock time frame, okay? Where she was going to meet Teddy. And you the one planted that crack rock on her, and you the one that had her pulled over, called the police, and had her pulled over and had her arrested. And Olivia said, you know what, since you're leaving, I'm going to tell you what happened. I planted the drugs on her. You know why I did it? I did it because she hurt my friend. She was a home wrecker, and she was going to up and leave. Now, she was going to go into business with Eve, okay? And when she realized that Eve was leaving and hurting Rose and not gonna do that business, but run off with Teddy, and it was gonna embarrass her. She making it seem like she did it all for Rose, but her running off and not doing that business was gonna ruin her with her husband anyway. Okay, and so that's why she did it out of spite, right? And set up Eve. It was a whole mess. I think he was gonna run off with Eve because he was trying to get away from his brother. He was trying to dodge his brother after he did all them shady business dealings, and his brother was holding him accountable for it. That's the reason why they was at the dock in the first place. It wasn't that he was trying to talk him out of running off with Eve, but he was trying to stop him from leaving, because he was leaving and leaving all these black folks in the lurch financially. Okay? It was a mess. It was a whole mess. I was just like, oh, why is this the last season? This is just getting real good. So, she tells, Olivia said, you'll never be able to prove it. She says, I'm going to tell everybody. This is what Angela said. Olivia said, you'll never be able to prove it. Angela said, yes, I will, because I got the whole thing on audio. Olivia took that phone, baby, and threw that joker down and stepped on it, bam, with them SASs. She had on some old formal SASs, child. Y'all know them nursing shoes. So she stepped on it with them formal glitzy SAS shoes, child, and said, not anymore. Oops. And Angela leaned in and said, I guess you don't have it anymore, she said. Angela said, it's in the clouds, bitch. It's in the clouds. I was so tickled. Oh, what did you talk about? Because you smashed my phone. You know it's in the clouds, bitch. She said, let me tell you what. Let me tell you how we gonna work this out. I'm gonna hold this little bitty secret, and what you're gonna do is fund my business. I was like, girl, unless you get it in a lump sum, I wouldn't no more trust that. Okay. Anywho. Child, baby, when she said that, I said that is it. It was that gun, that fake Teddy's face when he saw that gun in that box, and he and baby, when she leaned in and said, it's in the clouds, bitch. I was like, classic moment. Now let's talk. So, um, we get to see where the ceremony happens, the Illuminati ceremony. It's Illumination, but I like Illuminati better. The Illuminati ceremony happens, and they all walk in with this lantern. And as they get close to Leah, the lantern lights up. So the girls are walking. Bad wig, bad wig, bad edges, bad edges. Baby, speaking of edges, when I tell you Piggy's edges was laid, they was going this way and that way and this way and that way. I said, you better come on, baby, with them baby hairs. Okay, come on, Angie. Angie from all my children, honey. And then the last person to walk up, guess who it is? It is Angela. She has the lamp in front of her, and when she lets it down, poof, it's me, sister. And Leah is like, you are my sister. You and me for never part. And she pins her. And then they all stand in the front row, and Leah is standing in the back like, look at all my beautiful gals. And they hug. They closer than ever. It's such a good moment. Such a good moment. And listen, then we see where Angela also goes to, before we get to that, Quincy goes to see Sloan, and Sloan packing up her things. She leaving. He says, you know what? I don't want you to go. I don't care what your grandmama say. I'm going to love you to the end of time. You know what I'm saying? We going to be together. And we're not. She was like, hold that thought. I don't think you have much of a choice, because right here in the top pocket of my jean jacket, I have a pregnancy test. And guess what? You that baby daddy. He was like, oh. I was like, don't get invisible now, sir. We just started seeing you. Yeah, boo. All right. I guess you ain't gonna be going to play basketball. No, you finna get around there and get in this company and get to work so you can take care of your family, okay? So then we see where Angela goes, and she lets Leah know that she has some choices to make. She lets her know about the fact that she talked with Olivia, and Olivia's gonna fully cooperate with funding her business, and she's got some choices to make tonight between Tyrique and Nate, and she gonna get that done. We see where Piggy goes, not only shades Teddy, but she also thanks him because he loved her sister, and the fact that he framed her made her get clean, and so she's thanking him for that. We also see where she tells him he has 9 lives, right? And they give each other these super pensive looks. And Mr. Franklin, your car is ready, and he looks like he is leaving. Like I said, we go to see where Angela goes down to the beach and meets Tyrique, and she's crying. So he thinks the answer is no, but she's crying because she's happy because the answer is yes, and they're gonna be together forever, right? And so then we see where Leah surprises Raymond. They finna make sweet monkey love, and she tells him that she going to help Angela out run Eve's Crown, because that's gonna be a major conglomerate, and she's leaving Franklin Holdings and Darman Industries all to him to run. And he was like, you know what, this deserves a dad burn celebration. Let me go down to the kitchen where all the maids and servants are and get drinks for us to celebrate, instead of calling down to the kitchen and letting them know we want champagne on ice upstairs in 10 minutes. But I digress. He leaves out, and she is happy as a log. She's gotten rid of her daddy. She is finally in charge, and she knows what she wants to do with her life moving forward. So she takes a spin around in her daddy's chair and puts her feet up, and someone comes to the door, some shadowy, foggy figure, and he says, Teddy Franklin, this is for you. Shoots through the chair, right? Bloody hand. Somebody done shot Leah, child. Somebody done shot Leah. Leah had just turned her life over to Christ. She just found her sister again, her center place. Why? Why, Lord? Not Leah. We just started liking Leah. And that's how the episode goes off. She done took a bullet instead of Teddy Franklin. Who could have shot Leah? We may never know. We may never know. I don't know if it's a petition going on out there for this show, but I would like to see it back. I really would. I'd like to see this thing through. Y'all tell me what y'all thought of this episode. Tell me what y'all thought of this season. Hell, tell me what you thought of my reviews. I'd love to hear that as well. Is there a petition? Let me know. Put it down below. Listen. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me through this whole new show. You guys, it has been fabulous. Your comments have been fabulous. I can't wait to see where we go from here. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. And until next time, honeybees, mwah, 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 I'll holla.